to deal with all these pesky teleporting altars all up in your face when it comes to dealing with the void passage, and how you're going to be able to find the positioning and timing to take some of these fights when it comes to the high to low ground that Street Market provides. Obviously, since Neo will have that POI advantage, they'll have that ring console, the survey beacon, and with another southern zone. And imagine here with teams like Shopify that have to go all the way out from the north side of where Resort is, they're already rotating themselves. Other teams like Flat 2 who are now making their move out of Viaduct. I do believe Wolves Esports are taking to the skies. Yeah, right on top of them. You can see the pressure already. But they're just going to be wrapping around them and going in from the southern side of Viaduct, because there is that southern choke rotation that would lead you into market.
They immediately, you're right, anchor down on the south side. Now Wolves, of course, coming in as the #1 seed from APAC South. This team are one of the best performers when it comes to E-District. So the fact that they were not able to lock down a good score in map #1, starting from Humbert Labs, which has one of the highest average points per game, right? They were able to achieve it with a 22nd pick. That's what we need, though. I was looking at it, Vicky, I'm thinking like 8 points per game across 10 games should get you there. So PXX, we're already about 5 to 10 points shy of that.
I mean, when you got to be in the top 6, this is why it's called the Survivor stage, and it gets brutal at the start for a lot of our teams who want to soak up those points early. That's why you saw the likes of even JD Gaming coming in swinging. Dinos, who also had a pretty strong start themselves, aside from our Game 1 winners like For Fun, who once again had that 10 KP, Aurora. And everybody was gasping right there, and where Aurora was taking a lot of these risky fights in the middle of where these zones were pooling. Next to question how that's going to work out for them. You can see the pings, you can see how they're going to be able to rotate now deeper in, and it's going to be against PXX, DCG, also to their north side, but it's the fight for the info, as there is that ring console right on top of their building.
So curious to see what Aurora do here across Deep Cross Gaming, considering it has definitely been a major underperformance for that team over there, right? It was a really slow start in the groups. They went 33, 18, 19 points across the board. So I'm saying if you're getting 19 points in a 6-game series and we got map 1 with a 0, you're gonna have to have an explosive game to turn it around. And Deep Cross Gaming, we got a couple of points on that map. They are definitely gonna hold this ultimate height on Aurora well.
It's just so crazy to me to see how our heavy hitters in Pro League are struggling out here. Aurora still trying to find their footing. VKG, our former EWC champions too, finding themselves with 9 total points, looking up at the team right above them in Viaduct, which is still flat. They have not moved from this position. It's going to be hard for them to do so, considering that NIP are to themselves as well as Wolves Esports. But with the amount of altars here, this is what you can expect, right? You have the TP to just reset here, having to be careful with the way that these teams try to push onto you with that void passage, easily being able to be the elevator to put you up on the high ground. Ooh.
This is going to be so interesting because I love the pace of our play, right? The survival stage, it's all about our smart engagements and making sure that you don't fall too early. You saw just yesterday in our final matches of the series and stuff, everything was so much more amplified. Teams were going out faster. And I was thinking, would that start off the same? Would teams int and take these aggressive pushes that actually don't make sense because they just feel like they can take it? But NIP, a team that I feel is very momentum-based. At least they started warming up in that last game of the series to find themselves here. And all the Nessies hiding around. Please don't fall in there. Please don't fall in there.
Not the Crusher, please.
Not the Crusher. Has he got a mustache?
Looks like he actually does. Bonjour.
Bonjour, mon ami.
I love it. The amount of Nessies here in the arena. Trying to alleviate the pressure here, but it's a lot with a lot of these teams too, stuck on the north side, like E36, who get to see information onto Neon Square. Neo, who will be trailing right behind them. Aurora still against DCG, but it's a huge pileup over by Viaduct, where Flat are holding their ground. King of the Hill, VK Gaming still playing up that low ground here as the exhibit is called in. The knock from the low ground here. Thanks to Ossus holding the high ground for the rest of VP. Preston now following up and with a quick cleanup at that. Peanut cannot run away. Good luck with that, as TIE is the first team out of this lobby for game number 2.
And this is a great fight for VP in particular because we know where they start on that south side, and they immediately want to take some of those pressures off their location. They are in the center of zone in particular right now, but just in map number 1 alone, they had so many teams that were fighting for their building. As we pull up the map, you can see they are just below For Fun and Dinos, which honestly, I wouldn't really want to be set up that close to Dinos. They are actually honestly, I said they were playing like ranked in map number 1. They were just pushing everything. They were incredibly confident with their fights, which you have to be in survival. But look up on the screen toward the top right side of things. Gen G Esports are coming out of Galleria, and they did get access to that survey beacon, likely saw Zipline Mafia and Shopify Rebellion as they're carving through Energy Bank. It's a rather open POI that you don't want to find yourself in, especially too long, because so many people are running longbows, 30-30s, those triple takes, they're hurting. But Neo looking for some points.
You can expect it too when it comes to a map like E-District, whether it be the triple take, the Hemlock in hand, and unfortunately Neo losing out on their Valkyrie, one of the few teams dropping out on the Valkyrie. You see the Wrecking Ball now. DJ, who has been popping off 5 total KP off that first game alone, still sticking to the altar, dropping down as Chaos is going to be able to get the follow-up now. Only one left for Neo. If they could stay alive here, Jaxo is going to be able to try to run away, being on the Seer himself. But Dino, you mentioned it earlier, Tiff, this team was on a rampage for game number 1. They themselves, they may have not gotten the placement points, but they still got the double-digit KP the way that they opened up the game for E-District.
I mean, 16 points is a strong start, considering in one of their entire group series of 6 games, it was 24 points and 20 respectively. So we're already putting ourselves that much further ahead in a 10-game series. I told you they're being aggressive, and they came in feeling confident. A team that needs to do that is on your screen. Enter Force 36, hailing from APAC North. They've been fighting a little disjointed lately, and with Obley joining them back in March after their strong performance in Champs, we know Synap is the IGL there, but I fear with Obley kind of counter-calling, maybe we're hesitating just a bit too much on starting those fights.
Having to clean that up, hopefully, especially when we're going to be saying goodbye to our 7th to 20th place teams at the end of the day over the course of these 10 games. 9 left to go. Shopify Rebellion. Got to hear a little bit from Zainu and Phony. Love getting their thoughts, thanks to Rain Day. And before they start rotating together, they are isolated for the meantime. Coming out of the north side, they will eventually rotate into Kinotrope if they commit going through the choke that leads into draft point. But if they do want to clear their backs, teams like Gen G, Zipline, as Aurora do have that Void Nexus out just in case. They're playing on the edge of zone. They're looking to their backs to ensure that PXX do not wrap on them.
And I'm immediately looking to the altar players on our teams, because with everything ending towards Street Market, you're going to have a lot of these like covered small areas that teams are going to set up with their Watsons, right? And those portal plays are going to have to be so massive to open it up. You're going to have to destroy the pylon and then lay siege with nades, especially with Crypto being out of the lobby. So I love where Aurora is on that outside. You will need to defend, and with PXX starting to kind of lay some grounds, get some information on what their setup looks like, we have to be hyper aware. And you see Hiarka immediately calling that out.
It's kind of like the rock, paper, scissors too, because while Aurora's looking to their backs, essentially PXS are doing something similar, because a rotate from Viaduct could come out of Wolves, and then they could collapse on PXX, and that could be a 3P opportunity for Aurora to clear their backs. As long as the southern side of this zone is clear, Aurora will be able to have a way easier rotate, but it also depends on how that zone pool is, because we've seen these market zones pool kind of closer to VP by that hilltop, as Gen G in some trouble, still stuck outside of zone because it was a Shopify Rebellion who are looking to their backs. And Gen G are going to have to take their time. At least they have the medkits ready, and of course with the altars too, it provides that easier rotation. We just saw it right there from Shopify. They're moving now up, avoiding Kinotrope from that choke, and the fact that there are no teams waiting for them on the outskirts of market on this rotate is great for them.
Only thing I'm worried about with them is they do not have an exhibit. Why can't I even say exhibit? Seer, man, the things that you do to me. They don't have an exhibit available for their next fight in that circle, right? You have been silenced. It gets me every time. But for real, though, at least they do have 2 charges on the Seer attack there. Gen G Esports likely just going to pop some information up in Neon Square before they decide which area feels rather safe to go do it. Why is my intrusive thoughts wanting the crazy Kraber shots?
Because we've been seeing so much of that action, man. It's been crazy. I mean, imagine with the way that Floating's also playing. I don't know what he was cooking with the way he was trying to take these flanking angles. It works a lot. It works. The way he plays aggressively, it's beautiful. I mean, that's what you need from an entry fragger.
Well, here's the deal, guys. I'm having trouble speaking, so let's get into a JDG Gaming listen-in.
Just keep following me.
We can also evac.
We have the third party for like this, bro. I don't think we evac. I think it's just all in.
Alright, can we try to 3, 2, 1 a team?
Yeah, wait, we're gonna peek together. I'm gonna maybe queue up the bridge first. No. Yeah, bridge. Ready?
Sure.
Like this way. Come here, peeking. Ready? Peek this building on the left. Walk. Peeking. I have a crate, bro. Okay, let me shoot first.
Blue there.
Ready? On the roof.
I don't see
I'm
it.
sliding and peeking.
They're sliding.
Ready?
Shoot. Shooting.
I'm ready. Sliding up,
I
guys.
think he's anchoring now.
He is, yeah, he is. It's fine. Just you're fine. I'm vernating.
Good. Walk forward.
We're still ulting.
They're back there.
Okay, hold on. Got it. Hold on.
Okay.
Q,
Waiting.
shoot me. Whatever you have Q.
I don't
I'm on
have Q.
scan.
Also 100.
I just died, bro.
I kill one.
All you. It's all you.
Thirst.
Yeah, it's thirst. Just thirst.
Benny. Runs. Thirst. Nice.
Nice.
Good.
Oh my G! JD Gaming going down. I like the way that Naughty tried to calm that, the 3-2-1. But all for naught when they tried to engage in a fight that the other team was waiting on the other side. Gen G capitalized after being stuck in the zone for so long. Have now wrapped on 2 of our teams. JDG out. Shopify Rebellion to meet their doom back into the lobby. And Gen G have come from the north side. VK Gaming though, inching in from the other side of the choke that would neighbor Gen G. But a lot of these teams, if you see where the zone is pulling, Tiff, is going to be pulling towards RRQ.
Look, RRQ have been so good at calling these zones, especially with them being the best team on E-District in this lobby, with 50% of their points coming from E-District alone. Neo, though, the majority of theirs from fights, and they have looked scary. But Ninjas in Pajamas, after they heated up, decided to do enough to push them back away. They say you cannot rotate through this. 39 seconds, though, and still 3 teams on this side, and a long way to go. So Exhibit is down, and PXX are about to take it to him. That Maggie ball going crazy, and 2 falling solo. Ninjas in Pajamas, gear up, we've got to hold on.
It's like they're inking themselves, man. Like, you literally can't even walk. No, I literally saw him. I'm surprised he actually committed to trying to pull it off. Unless,
Like, nah, bro, I got it.
Literally by a corner, and then, oh my gosh, I actually almost got beamed from that when he tried to delay the tactical there off the void passage. I mean, this is a huge mess. BXX do get eliminated. NIP now down to a duo. We're Curve going down, but the fight's not over yet. Dancing around the shield with the wingman. The melee hit is all he needs as Wolves are the next to go down, and you get the Death Box res. This is nice for NIP. Zip are within the vicinity though, but for now, they have some respite to get this reset.
That was insane, the collapse. Just a few seconds on the board, the ring will be at their back as they full send to the most populated side of this circle. And you know who's there? VK Gaming, double-digit points for them. A lot of teams over on this side need their points from E-District because this is where they find them. Enter Force 36, VK Gaming. Ninjas in Pajamas do actually slide through into that next side of the circle. But wow, we see where they go. To the top of Zipline Mafia they've chosen.
Man, these pile-ups. Yeah, this is going to be at least a
Sinner.
3v3 cleanup here. VKG now move up as E3 are looking down at VKG who are trying to rotate. You see the Watson fences painting the floor, blocking them off. As Kesa with the nade, and E36 though get eliminated thanks to that nade, but they're feeling so much pressure. I mean, dude, look at this. Tactical after tactical. You literally can't catch a break. This is why series banned after this game. There's so many scans. You have the slowdowns. You can't catch a break.
VK
VKG
Gaming
now
out.
get eliminated.
That's like so many people are looking to get involved in this, and for fun, hold that farther northernmost center. And NIP through the portal, throw the focus of attention out. We have so much loot. The shield swaps. Cole taken out by the frag.
So insane here. Well, Kira tries to stay alive after he finally just comes back. And now the rest of Ninjas get deleted in 13. 12 squads left. And look at the way For Fun is playing. They're looking to keep up this momentum, but they got to deal with Dino. And Jay Future swinging that by himself, by the way. Could have been the demise. But with Sinead now going down, it's only up to DJ from Dinos. Can they try to get this? It was the one. Where are you going? He's want to get the reset. No way he's doing that in space. What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh,
we're going to have to talk about that one later because that was a little bit of a breakdown. For WGR Neo, they will take every point they can get, especially like that. Rotating towards the north side, their biggest area is going to be that Team RRQ holding that zone. Gen G, on the other hand, Vicky, we've got to fight against Kinatrope.
I can't believe that. I mean, listen, you know what? Sometimes we all go through it when we're feeling the pressure, get a little nervous sometimes, but committing to going through that Void Nexus is definitely a choice. Too many chefs in the kitchen, the food is absolutely burnt. As Aurora now have stayed underground for quite some time, have moved up from the underpart of Street Market. Nades for days, though. They're dancing like they're in the circus. Effect now backing away. And they're also scanned, by the way, off the Sear attack. But thankfully, being one of the Ultra teams, it's the alley-oop to go up on the high ground. Particularly with neighbor, a lot of these other teams, because look at this pile up right now, Tip. You got VP, you got Aurora, you got GK, as well as RRQ. It's going to be a bloodbath over to the south side. Zipline to add as Aurora Effect can't clutch it out. It's only one left as Yarka is trying to get this reset.
I said it comes down to the altars, the importance of the entry fights, and when you're the last one standing, the IGL Hyarka is going to have to figure it out. We get Oirain back up on his feet, and we throw it down. We check behind enemy lines. For VP, they're just looking to close out Aurora. Prestis does fall, but Ozus and Taskmaster are so healthy here.
I was going to say, it was just a matter of time. Aurora do get eliminated eventually. Playing Ring around the Rosie, around the Void Passage, even trying to cover their back with the nade originally before. With 8 squads left, though, this is what you can expect. VP now looking to get aggressive, as well as DCG, who are just trying to avoid this drill. Rory, unfortunately, goes down, is hiding behind the desk. Try to see if he can get the 2-for-1. At least he tries to get the reset here from the rest of his teammates. While KNC, they hear all the action happening above their heads, and they're not looking to get involved. They're looking to take this slowly from underneath the market.
And it's WGR Neo that has that Mad Maggie on their team. So if you're getting Riot drilled, it is totally them. The Valks gave them a nice little rotation for now, but for Flat, DCG, and Kinatrope, they are on a side where there are so many teams that you have to anchor it. So bringing out the Newcastle, bringing out the Gibby for that extra coverage is going to allow them to hold on if we time everything right once we pull out of these little crannies.
Well, my fan dies in the arena. The competition's getting even hotter. Imagine how our players feel while we get to see the side-by-side. Neo, who had then slowed down and being able to get this replay. I mean, he's literally staring at Dino that last
that was tough.
TP. I mean, what can you do? But that was an earlier situation we had seen. 8 squads left. KNC, remember we mentioned, they weren't going to try to show face just yet. They're taking this slow as now the final ring closes behind their backs. Look at the way that RQ make this move, though, with Strafing Flame being on the Rave. It's going to be able to try to get the climb up here. There is another team right above them, but it's really important with Pricey being able to get that knock. They get to fully extend on this, even with the Sear tech behind them, though. They're getting stared down with the other team across the way.
Flat and everyone just immediately like, nah, I don't think we're getting away with that. Knocks through the portal, behind VP. The RE45 does enough damage. We go for a clean reset, and we have to move. With RRQ to the other side, Vicky, it's about to be so exciting.
But look how important Drop's exhibit is. He gets all the information. Look at the beamage of the RE45. The gold extended energy bag here. They know where everybody is. Last 4 squads left.
Virtus Pro has been eliminated, and now Kinatrope. Can they defend? Bubble is down, the wall is there, and Nock doesn't even care. Firing through the wall. Zipline Mafia are down. Will Kinatrope follow?
Can they hear with our last 2 squads, though? To be DCG versus GK now, with knocking so low. Keon going down. The ring was his demise. DCG move up. They take the portal. Last squad, 6 KP for dropping Revolve. Get the clutch and the win. The melee coming through to secure the dub.
Deep Cross Gaming.